going to be going over the full course, the features of all the things that we have on the course, explaining some of the things and just going over anything, any questions that anyone might have, and yeah, going over the course essentially. So yeah, when you log in, this is the sort of landing page. First thing you'll see is the hours. It's very important that you keep a track on that. So you've got your expected hours, your sort of target that you got to do within, a certain time frame, and then today's schedule. It shows you how much hours you got to do today. Okay, so first thing we'll jump into is customization and scheduling. Okay, so here, what you can do is you can change when your course start date is. So for this particular study plan, it's set at the 21st of February. But we can change that. So let's say we'll change it to today. And what will happen is it'll readjust how many days we got left until the exam. And the remaining, and it works out, how much time left of the studying we got to do. And then it works out how many hours you got to do per day between now and the exam. Okay. And if we change the start date, let's say we change it to the 1st of May, you'll see that the hours increase. Okay. And there's less days until the exam. So obviously we start later, but we'll change it back to today for the time being. Okay. Another feature that we have is the schedule. So not everyone likes to study every day. I don't personally. I like to have my weekends free. So what you can do is you can have days off on the weekend. You just if you want your Fridays as well, you could just readjust it. And what will happen, the PSP will adjust itself and recalibrate so that it'll tell you exactly how many hours you got to do between now and the exam. So now it says, oh, there's only 57 study days left between now and the exam, and therefore you got to do 6 to 7 hours. Okay. If you're working full time and your employer is going to give you some days off, you want to do the opposite. Let's have a look. So let's say they're going to give you the weekends and the Friday off. You could just click on that and it'll readjust and say, no, now it's 7 to 8 hours, and it'll tell you how much study days you got left. Okay. I'm just going to change it to default for the time being, just to make life a bit easier. And then here at the top, it kind of tracks how many hours you've done so far. What's your target for that week? Over here is like the average passing student, how many hours they would do, the average person that would pass. Yeah, so far on this personal study plan, I've only completed 2 hours. But hopefully, yeah, I'll explain a bit more on how that number will change. When we look at the progress later on, that number will change as we do some of the practice questions. I'll do some of the lectures with you today, as well as some of the reading. And I'll show you how all this will change, okay? But like I said, yeah, the total course there. And the idea is you do some hours every day or every week, build it up, and then once you've completed the course, you go straight into the exam itself. This can also be viewed as a percentage, okay? So far, completed 0.6% of the personal study plan. So, yeah, have we got any questions in the audience so far about the scheduling and the calendar feature? Ask, have you got any questions at all, or?
I think it's cool. It's pretty.
Yeah. I mean, it's really awesome that you can change the schedule on all that. Yeah, we got someone new coming in.
Oh, somebody comes in.
Knowles, how are you? He's connecting, so I won't move on until he can hear me. They can hear me. Hello, Knowles. How are you? You can put yourself off mute if you want. Come say hello. Don't know if you can hear me. You can see my screen as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think now we'll move on to the actual course itself. So yeah, Nicolette, I think you missed the first section, but I'll do it really quickly. As you go in to the personal study plan, it tells you how many hours you got to do. You can customize this. You can customize when your start date is. Yeah, hello. I can see you're in the chat. Hello. You can customize when. Oh, Mariam is here. Hello. Someone else is coming in. You can customize. Hello, Mariam. Someone else is coming in. Awesome. Yeah, I'll move on to the actual course now. Okay. So here it is, essentially. So from week 1, you'll be able to see the entire course, really. So this little icon, that means reading. This little icon means lecture. And this little icon here, that means practice questions. Okay. But you can customize this to whatever you want, really. So if you're, let's say, you're in a sort of busy area, you're in a cafe or something, and you want to do some reading, and you want to filter the reading, well, you can do that. You can just click reading, and then you can kind of take it from there. So let's have a look on the first reading assignment, the legal system of England and Wales. So what you do, you just click on it. It's really straightforward, and then you can click PDF, and it'll show you the chapter in question. Okay, so once you've read it, brilliant, you've read it. You can, and by the way, I'll go into a bit more detail about the reading material in a bit, because we do have features. Yeah, here you can download, you can print it out. Some people like to print out and then highlight it. But I'll go in a bit more detail later on about the bookshelf that we got. And then yeah, once you've done the reading, this particular assignment is 0.25 hours, a quarter of an hour. Click complete, and it'll put a little tick there. And as you can see, now the hours that you've completed has gone up. So before it was 2 hours, now it's 2.3. Okay. So if we do it again, so this one is reading constitutional law. Once you've done the reading, click complete. Now you can see it's now 3 hours. Okay. Also, the progress update will update as well as you complete the course. Okay. But again, I'll look into that in a bit more detail in a minute. Now let's look at the lectures. Okay. So we've had a look at the lectures, we've had a look at the reading. Now let's have a look at the practice questions. Because in all honesty, the best way to prepare for a multiple choice test is to do multiple choice questions. Okay. So typically, as you can see in the personal study plan, you'll do some reading, you'll do some lectures, and then a bit more lectures. And then at the end of a module, there's typically a set of questions. Okay. And as you learn and progress through the course, as you can see, this one is on constitutional law. Then there's another set on constitutional law. But as you go through the course, the practice questions get a bit longer, and eventually they get mixed in together to get you to being used to essentially doing these practice questions. So let's have a look at constitutional law. Is anyone in the audience like an expert on constitutional law at all, or they want to answer some of these questions? I think that'll be fun. Hated it, yeah. Yeah, excellent. So as you can see here, one thing to keep in mind, it does track your time, okay? Because in the exam, you are under time constraint. So that is a very useful feature, and you can pause it, make a cup of tea or whatever, come back. But yeah, these are the types of questions, well, the practice questions. Let's go with A, because I'm not an expert on constitutional law. Oh, it turns out it's E. But yeah, it'll tell you where you've gone wrong. Okay. Let's look at the second question. Let's go with C this time. Oh, turns out it was B. What you can do, let's say you're a bit uncertain about a question, you can actually flag it, and then you can look back at it later on. Okay. I'm going to get this out. So once you've gone through the questions, you can go up to the end and sort of review, see where you've gone wrong, see where you've gone right, go through them, etc. And then, yeah, let's close this out. Exit. It'll save your progress. And let's say, yeah, you want to go back to those questions later on, finish the rest of the questions. You can do that. Okay. And so this one is marked as sort of in progress. What you can do, you can restart the practice questions as well, to basically do them again and again as you please. Okay. Have we got any questions in the audience about these practice questions, about the material? Because essentially, yeah, this is the full course that you see in front of you. Yeah. Any questions so far? No.
No.
Okay. So let's have a look at the bookshelf, shall we? So actually, before we go there, one thing, well, we got a question. Are the questions based on exam directed material? Yeah, typically, yeah. So the exams practice questions are designed to get you to be used to the exam itself. Okay. Let's say let's get rid of everything else so you can have a bit more feel. So entire course, I've selected multiple choice and exam. Yeah, these are all the practice questions, and you can let's have a look at this one, property practice. Yes, it's designed, it's like a mock question really, and it's designed to get you used to the types of question that you'll see in the exam. Yeah, it's typically, yeah, an indication of the actual exam questions. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, any more questions on the practice questions? Or lectures or reading? We got another question. Sounds great. Awesome. But yeah, like I said earlier, you will be able to see the entire course from week one. However, we do recommend that you follow the plan as it recommends it. So it'll tell you, oh, week one, you do this, and then week two, you do that, and you do it in order. That's what we recommend. And then the practice questions kind of builds up on each other. And then right at the end of the course, there is a full mock exam that we do with you. That is timed, and you can time yourself and see where you've gone right or wrong. And then the idea is after you complete the course, go straight into the exam itself. Okay. Also over here, you can select things by specific reading. So if you just want to see the reading, entire course, here we go. So now it will just show, yeah, let's say you've started some topics, you haven't quite finished, you can filter that out as well. So yeah, that's the kind of the filter feature and all of that. But yeah, and let's look at the bookshelf, shall we? It's a bit of a tongue twister. So yeah, this is the SQE1 kit. If you are going to be doing SQE2, you will actually have an online version of SQE1 kit on there, but you just won't have the physical copy. But if you're doing SQE1 prep with us, you'll have a physical copy of these two books, okay, volume 1 and volume 2, as well as any supplementary reading that we do send out. So occasionally, the law does change. So what we do, we basically put like a little update on the bookshelf, as well as the messaging board that we have, and I'll explain that in a minute. As well as, yeah, we ship them out as well. So let's have a look at volume 1, shall we? Yeah, so this is constitutional and administrative law of the EU, okay? But what you can do, that'll take you home back to the bookshelf. This one will take you to the table of contents and any bookmarks you've sort of done as well. So let's say this little page, we'll bookmark it. Let's say I'm currently not sure how to understand the hung parliament. You're not quite sure and you want to look back at it another time. You can, let's say then you're reading on government. The bookmark is there, so you can just click on it and then you're back on hung parliament and you can read it from there. Okay. What another thing you can do, there's a pen feature. You can circle anything you're uncertain of. You can also highlight. So you can highlight it red, orange, all the colors. And what you can do as well, table, oh no, it's this one, data. So you can see where you've actually highlighted. So let's say you're on another chapter and you think, oh, I remember highlighting a certain bit about that. Let's say you're on some of the practice question and it's on hung parliament, and I think, oh, I remember seeing that in the book. You can go back, you can see, oh, there it is, and it'll remember where you highlighted. Okay, and also sticky notes. Okay, so you can put a sticky note saying, oh, would like to revisit. So let's say you would like to revisit a page. So you can put a note here. Let's say you're uncertain about something, you can put the note there, and again it'll be in your highlighted note section. Okay, so let's say you got a question and you want to revisit, you can put a note there, sticky note, whatever. Also, let's say we go back, we exit, you go on, you have a bit of a break from your studies and you go back to that textbook. It'll save, like I mentioned earlier, all the data that you put in there before. So it'll remember where the last page you were reading on, any notes that you put on there, any sticky notes or marker pens or anything like that. Have we got any questions about the bookshelf or about the online versions of the books at all?
I think it's comfortable.
Yes,
I
really, it's
like
really
the
good.
searching functions, especially.
Yeah, good. Okay, so let's move on. Brilliant. Yeah, no questions. Fantastic. So now we're going to look at the progress bar. Because for me, I like to be motivated. You know, when one way to get me motivated, I should say, is seeing my progress. Okay, so mentioned earlier, now it's at 3 hours. Okay, but here it gives you a breakdown of where you are each week and each topic. So week one, as I did earlier, I did a bit of the practice questions with you. I've done 4 of the assignments, but I've got 29 incomplete. Okay, and then week 2, I did a few more topics as well. Only done 1, but yeah, it'll show you where you are and how many you've done, how many you've got left, essentially. And then here, 3 hours completed. That will change as you do more topics. Okay, and it also shows it in a percentage. Okay, so the target, that is basically shows you where you should be in your personal study plan. So at the minute, I'm a bit behind because I've only done 3 hours of the content, 0.9%. But as you complete more, you'll get closer and closer. Okay. Once the bar reaches this level, it'll turn green. Okay, you're on track. Once you start falling behind, it'll turn orange, and then once you really fall behind, it'll turn red. Okay, and that's when some flags will light up. Okay, so let's have a look at these other features. So these are the subject progress reports, and it'll tell you exactly how much you've done on each topic. Okay, so earlier we did a few things on constitutional law. I've done 3 assignments out of 21. It basically keeps track of where you are, really. So one area I haven't done is criminal law. Okay, so what we can do, we can go back. I'll just give you an example, really, of criminal law. So let's go to entire course and criminal law contracts. Okay, we will have a look at contracts. I think criminal law is later on. So you do a lecture, press complete, Mark is complete. You can rate the lecture. There's put a comment. It was great. Learned a lot. Awesome. Save back and reset fit filter options. Brilliant. Now that's complete. And now if we go back to progress, now it's now it's gone to 3.5 hours because it memorizes what you've done. Contract law, now it's been completed. So do you now all see how it keeps track of your progress and keeps tab of where you've been and things like that? Have we got any questions so far? No? Okay, we'll move on to the practice questions thing. So yeah, I did a few practice questions with you earlier. I got a score of 0 because I got all of them wrong. But that's fine. In this page, it'll keep track of how well you're doing with the practice questions. Okay, so in this particular topic, the ones that I did earlier, there was public order law in there, human rights in there as well, and it'll tell you how many of them were correct, how many were incorrect, and it's based on the practice question that you do on the personal study plan. And as you progress further throughout the course, it'll keep track of kind of where you are. And obviously the idea is to get them all correct. Okay. This one as well, just in a different form, shows you in a bar chart. Okay. Also it tells you the sort of where you are relative to other people on the course. So in this one, okay, I did very poorly. The one that I did with you guys earlier, and it'll rank you against other students. Tell you, and it's basically hinting, maybe you should revisit this topic, ethics and professional conduct. Constitutional law. Yeah, I did it earlier. I got both questions wrong. I'm in the bottom 1%, so obviously I need to revisit that topic. Have we got any questions about this at all? No. I think we'll move on then. And then, yeah, again, practice questions, area 1, area 2, a bit more detail, and then the mock exam. Obviously, I haven't done anything yet with those. It'll tell you the results that you can do as well. We got a question. Yeah, healthy competition. Yeah, that's the idea. So nothing too serious, because the exam itself, the pass mark does change. It can change slightly. The SRA does, change it up and down. So obviously, the idea is you always want to be in the top quintile, top 2 quintiles. So then you pass essentially. So that is one of the reasons why we encourage the competition, because at the end of the day, you are going to be in a way indirectly competing for that pass rate. Okay. Any questions at all? Any other questions in the audience? No? Okay. We'll move on to messages. Okay. So here is where you'll get any messages from BARBRI. So any updates that we give you. So one update that the SRA did that we'd like all of our students to know. They said, yeah, you're not going to be able to get your results if you're doing the July exam. You're not going to get your results in time. So there was a little update from the SRA, from the regulators. So there's a little message there. Message on the workshops saying, yeah, it's going to be at this time. I'll get a bit more into detail to that in a minute as well. Or any messages from your personal tutor as well. They're going to be in here. Okay. Any questions about the messaging board? No. Okay. We'll move on to the last bit, the more info. This area right here is actually very useful. So it's kind of separate to the actual study plan. Here you may have heard that we do workshops. The learning team does workshops with the students on different topics, different little skills that might be useful. So quite often it can be quite stressful to study, for an exam, and it can be really stressful. So they'll do a well-being session, how to look after yourself in a time of stress. Then another one, they'll do an introduction, over here they do, you know, a way to approach the multiple choice questions. And yeah, these are recorded. This is the schedule for this particular course that I'm looking at today. But they are going to be recorded as well. And then if you do miss it, because they are at a certain time of the day, if you do miss it, yeah, you can just rewatch it in your own spare time, really. Okay. Over here, substantive question to Barbary. So let's say, like I said earlier, you were looking at a hung parliament, and you looked at the reading material. You weren't quite sure. You did a note on it. You circled it with a pen or whatever. What you can do, you can put your name in here. I'll just put Henry. You put your phone number in there, and then the question that you were uncertain about, essay volume page. You put the page number and the title, and then you can put any question. It gets submitted to the team, and then someone in the team will essentially review it and get back to you with a deeper explanation of whatever topic you're stuck on. Have we got any questions on this feature? Because I think it's quite a useful tool to have, to be able to ask questions about something you're quite unsure of. Any questions at all? Yeah, we got one here. I think that's very good. Yeah, it's really useful. But in all honesty, not a lot of people use that feature, simply because they find that the books and the lecture material is enough, really. Yeah, you can book a call with your learning coach. I think it's at the bottom, but yeah, they will be in contact with you sort of directly. They'll introduce themselves, and yeah, you can book a call with them. But they're mostly for to guide you through the course, really. So if you're uncertain about a certain topic in the exam, let's say constitutional law, what they will say is actually, submit a substantive study question, and a deeper explanation will be available. Like I said, in all honesty, most people find the books and the lectures enough to learn the material, which is really good, really. And then finally, we've got some review activity. So you can think of this as like revision, really. So contract laws, we just click on it. It's just a small sort of, I think this one's quite long. 32 pages. Some questions you can do and the answers that you can do. It's like a revision test, really. Let's go back here as well. And then at the bottom, really important, your student handbook tells you all about the course, how to contact us if someone isn't quite right in your studies. If you want to defer your studies, there'll be information there. IT support as well. So this is the kind of the help section. So if something's not quite right with your studies, you need a bit of help, this is where you go, really. And then at the end, we've got some information about the exam, because that's why we're all here. We're all doing the SQE1 exam. So information about the booking, exam dates, the websites, and anything like that. Okay, so any questions on this information page? Because I think it's quite helpful to have a bit of knowledge on it. Any questions at all? No? Okay. So lastly, we'll go to my account. Okay. And this is basically a summary of your account. So if you need to make a payment, you can do it here. You want to update your personal information, update your change your password. You want to print an invoice. These are all your sort of admin account information, really. Any questions at all on this? No? Okay. So I think we're all done then, because what I've done, I've few things to remember. You've got your customizing your schedule here. All of your lectures are here. You can redo the practice questions if you want. You've got your bookshelf over here where you can mark pages, bookmark them, etc. Over here keeps track of your progress, see where you're doing well, see where you're not doing so well, keep track of your hours, compare yourself to other students. The message board, any updates from Barbary or the SRA that we want you to know, it'll be up here. Information like help center is over here, and then your account, personal information over there. Okay. Any questions? I feel like we've done really well. Hopefully you've all learned something today. Yeah. Any questions in the audience you want to ask? Yeah. So the SRA. So the question is the SRA certain that results will come out in time for January and April 2023 to be sat consecutively? Yeah, so they recently announced that if you do the exam in January 2023, they will be out in time to book the exam for April of that year. Yeah, so they've made sure that the results are going to be out within the booking opening window. So yeah, the SRA announced that about a month ago, really. Yeah. Any more questions? Another one, is the enrollment fee in addition to the 299 for SQE1 prep? So yeah, the enrollment deposit is 199, and that is part of the 299. Yeah, so the full course, it costs 2,999. Yeah, and then when you pay the deposit, it comes out of that. And then when you get the invoice, typically within 2 working days after completing the enrollment form, it'll say that you've done that. Yeah. So yeah, no hidden fees. We don't do anything like that. However, if you do want to pay in installments, use our installment plan feature. We do charge an administration fee of £99 just to set that up, really. But you don't have to do that if you want to pay the course fee all up front. Yeah, you can do that. Also, one thing to mention, we have been doing a discount this month called the Mad March discount. But the last day to use that discount is today, and is applicable for all courses that'll be preparing you for the January 2023 exam. So that includes the 40-week flexible part-time course starting on the 11th of April. It also is applicable for the 20-week focused 20 hours a week course starting on the 29th of August, as well as the intensive 10-week full-time course starting in November. That's 10 weeks long. Okay. So yeah, if you're interested in one of those courses, yeah, we got a discount going. The last day is today. So yeah, make sure you jump on that for sure. Yeah, lastly, one thing I wanted to share with you all is our prep preview. So yeah, like I said earlier, I'll send an email out to you all with a link to this page. Really, it's free to enroll, and basically it'll show you, well, the course in brief, really. So there's about 4 hours of content in there in total in the preview. There's lectures on torts, there's practice questions as well as some reading material. You'll be able to have a play with the customization as well as the bookshelf. So yeah, that'll be really good. If you have enrolled recently, it does take us about a day or so to give you access to the preview. But yeah, seemed like I would get in time to read. Yeah, but if you want to review it today before enrolling and take advantage of that discount, yeah, what I can do and get the team on the case and get you those login details as quickly as we can. Okay. Yeah, any questions? See on this, change it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop my sharing. You've all enjoyed the session and this was helpful. You've learned more about the course. Like I said, any questions at all, any concerns you might have about like finance or the exam dates or which course to take, we're always here and always happy to help. So yeah, thank you so much for coming. I think we'll call it a day there. And yeah, we'll